Hello everyone. Today we are here to give you our major project presentation on load flow analysis of 5-bus system using Simulink. Now the first question which must be coming in your mind is, what is load flow? See, it is the most important and essential approach to investigating problems in power system operation and planning. Second is, the mathematical model of load flow problem is a non-linear algebraic equation system without differential equations. Now another thing is, what are our objectives of the project? See, the overall aim of the whole project is to develop a toolbox that allow user to solve power flow problem. However, the other objective that needed to complete are: first, to study the performance of transmission lines, transformer and generator at steady state condition. Second is to obtain the simulation of power flow analysis by MATLAB. Third, to build a toolbox for power flow analysis for education and training purpose. The other slide will be continued by my friend.
Buses and load flow techniques in our power system. Now I am starting with the types of buses. Basically there are three types of buses in our power system. First one is generator bus. This bus is also called the PV bus. In these buses, the real power generated and the voltage magnitude are specified. The generators are directly connected with the generator bus. Second one is load bus. Load bus is also called PQ bus. In these buses, the net real power and reactive power are specified. Slack bus. Slack bus is also called swing bus because the system losses are undefined precisely before the load flow solution. So it is not possible to identify the real power injected in our power system. Hence we use the slack bus to provide the real power as the losses to our power system. In these buses, the voltage magnitude and the phase angle of voltage are specified. Now I am going to load flow techniques. Load flow techniques there are basically three methods for load flow techniques. First one is Gauss method, Gauss-Seidel method and Newton-Raphson method. Among these three methods, Newton-Raphson method is mostly used for the load flow solution because it has more advantages. The iterations used for Newton-Raphson method is less. Memory used for feeding our data is less. Time required is less. But this method has one disadvantage because it is more difficult to calculate the load flow solution. And two starting methods, Gauss method and Gauss-Seidel methods, are not used for the load flow solution because there are many iterations and memory used for these methods. Thank you.
Now we discuss the load flow techniques. Though there are plenty of techniques, but the most popular techniques are Gauss and Newton-Raphson. Gauss method and Gauss-Seidel method basically single method, but in some modification in Gauss-Seidel. So basically Gauss method is required more iteration to solve one equation, where Newton-Raphson is required less iterations. So the time consumed by method to solve the equation is less in Newton-Raphson and more in Gauss. So we often use Newton-Raphson for this advantage. There are Gauss and Gauss-Seidel method, basically one method. We can easily designate it by this equation. This equation is nothing but the final equation for the Gauss and Gauss-Seidel method. This is come from the power flow equations. in the system. The power flow equation we can understand in the next slide. The power flow equation, which is, this is Newton-Raphson, but I am not telling you the Newton-Raphson. I am telling you this for the equation first equation. SI, that is apparent power, is equal to PI plus JQI, which is equal to VI into II. This whole part is nothing but current II, and this I part is designated the bus number. So S is equal to VI into II. II is nothing but the YIK into VK. This is not VIK, this is YIK into VK, that is admittance into voltage. So this summation is nothing but the KCL. For the bus is nothing but a node where current is a summation of all the current leaving the node. So the current is K is equal to 1 to N YIK into VK. So to modify this equation, first we transfer this VIK in the division of this PI plus JQI. So we can conclude this part of equation, PK minus JQK upon VK. So the VI is transferred in the division of PI plus JQI. Now in right side of equation there are K is equal to 1 to N YIK into VK. Now we separate the voltage VI, that is VI, from this summation. We can separate this equation like this, where VI or YII part of the equation is separated, and here K is not equal to I can be concluded. So the equation does not change, but we can separate the VI Y into YII form. So now equation will be PI plus JQI upon VI into VI into YII plus summation of K is equal to 1 to N YIK VK, where K is not equal to I. So if we modify this circuit, we can reach in this equation. So this is the final equation of Gauss. But to calculate or to see more often iterative equation, we have come here. Here CK is nothing but the PK minus JQK upon YKK. So the iterative value, which is VK R plus 1, here is R is nothing but the iterative value. So here VK is equal to CK upon VK minus summation of DKI into VI, where DKI is nothing but the YKI. This YKI is DKI here. This is the designation difference, but this is same in the all these two equations. And this method is called, to solve this equation we can solve the non-algebraic equation from load flow equations. So if we solve this equation, this is nothing but the Gauss method. To understand the Gauss-Seidel method, this is the equation of Gauss-Seidel method. We are nothing but just dividing the two part, this summation part, into these two parts, which is nothing but the I is equal to 1 to K minus 1 and I is equal to K plus 1 to N, where I is equal to K directly enumerated. And here this R, I am telling you, this R is nothing but the iterative values. So in the Gauss method, if we let's assume we are solving for three bus system. If we calculate for one bus number 1, if we calculate V2, we have to just put 2 in every k values. Here if we can put v2, we have nothing but the put vi from the previous assumption, that is 1 per unit. So the number of in this method, the number of iterations is definitely more to solve the equation, because we are not modifying per step the iteration value in the circuit. So per iteration value, the modified iterative value of Vk is not solved in this equation in Gauss method, but in Gauss-Seidel method we are taking the modified iterative values of Vi, that is the previous iterative values of which we are calculated. So we can put in this equation, this part of equation, where if we calculate V2 here, we have to put V1 value from previous iterative value, that is modified value of V1 we have to put here, and this is the nothing but the assumption part in the first iteration. But this part is making this method so fast. So here the basic difference between Gauss and Gauss-Seidel method. Thank you.
Load flow techniques. I am going to explain load flow techniques. We have 3 methods for load flow analysis. One is Gauss method, second is Gauss-Seidel method, and third one is Newton-Raphson method. तो मैं यहाँ पे न्यूटन-रैप्सन मेथड एक्सप्लेन करने वाला हूँ. तो न्यूटन-रैप्सन टेक्निक एक इटरेटिव मेथड है जिसमें कि हम नॉन लीनियर इक्वेशंस को सॉल्व करते हैं विथ सेम नंबर ऑफ वेरिएबल्स. जितनी इक्वेशंस होंगी उतने ही वेरिएबल्स होते हैं. न्यूटन-रैप्सन मेथड से सॉल्व करने के लिए सपोज कि कोई एक फंक्शन हमें दिया हुआ है f(x) = 0. अब अगर इसे हमें सॉल्व करना है, लेट कि ये माना कि एक नॉन लीनियर इक्वेशन है, तो इसे सॉल्व करने के लिए एक न्यूटन-रैप्सन का एक स्टैंडर्ड फार्मूला होता है. वो होता है f(x) = 0. तो फार्मूला होता है x⁴r+1, मतलब अगला स्टेप इज इक्वल टू पिछला स्टेप x⁴r माइनस f(x⁴r) अपॉन f'(x⁴r). यहाँ पे f'(x) फर्स्ट डिफरेंशिएशन होता है फंक्शन का. इस फॉर्मूले से नेक्स्ट स्टेप निकाली जा सकती है, और इसमें जब नेक्स्ट स्टेप आ जाती है तो उसको फर्स्ट स्टेप मान के फिर अगला नेक्स्ट स्टेप निकालते हैं, और इसे तब तक करते हैं जब तक कि हमें फाइनल वैल्यू ना प्राप्त हो जाए. और फाइनल वैल्यू वो वैल्यू होती है कि जब दो क्रमागत आंसर्स की जो अंतर होता है वो एरर से कम होना चाहिए. जैसे कि x⁴r+1 मतलब नेक्स्ट स्टेप माइनस x⁴r लेस देन और इक्वल टू एरर हो, तब हम इटरेशन को बंद कर देते हैं, स्टॉप कर देते हैं. दिस इज हाउ वी सॉल्व. न्यूटन-रैप्सन मेथड में लोड फ्लो एनालिसिस करने के लिए सबसे पहले हम लोड फ्लो इक्वेशंस लेते हैं कि हमें बसेस दी हुई होती हैं, बसेस के पैरामीटर्स दिए हुए होते हैं, उनके अकॉर्डिंग हम इक्वेशंस फॉर्म करते हैं जो कि लीनियर और नॉन लीनियर हो सकती है. जनरली नॉन लीनियर होती हैं. तो सपोज कि इसमें दिया हुआ है SI = PI + JQI. तो PI और JQI जो होती है, इनको हम वोल्टेज और उनके एंगल उनके फॉर्म में लिख लेंगे, वोल्टेज इक्वेशन के फॉर्म में, और फिर इन्हें बाद में हम कन्वर्ट कर देंगे. इसमें से जैसे ये S1 है, मतलब अपरेंट पावर है, उनको उससे एक्टिव पावर और रिएक्टिव पावर को अलग अलग कर लेंगे. मतलब एक्टिव पावर जो होगा वो रियल होगा, और रिएक्टिव पावर जो होगा इमेजिनरी भाग होगा एक कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर का. इस तरह से हम इन्हें अलग अलग कर लेंगे, और उसके बाद नेक्स्ट स्टेप में हम इन्हें राइट कर लेंगे इस फॉर्म में, जिसमें से इसका जो फर्स्ट है उसको समेशन से बाहर निकाल लेंगे फर्स्ट स्टेप को, और बाकी को जो बाकी बचा हुआ भाग है उनको समेशन में रहने देंगे। इस फॉर्म में लिखने के बाद न्यूटन रैप्सन सॉल्व करने के लिए उनको जैकोब फॉर्म में लिखने के बाद न्यूटन रैप्सन सॉल्व करने के लिए उनको जैकोबियन में कन्वर्ट करेंगे। एक जैकोबियन मतलब ये न्यूटन रैप्सन का एक स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म है कि डेल एफ इज इक्वल टू जे डेल एक्स। तो जे यहाँ पे जैकोबियन मैट्रिक्स होता है और डेल एफ और डेल एक्स ये वेरिएबल्स होते हैं जो जिसमें से हमें डेल एफ फाइंड करना है। तो इसे प्रॉपर वे में हम अरेंज करेंगे, जैसे कि ये। अब इसमें हमने डेल पी आई और डेल क्यू निकाल लिया और इसे जब हम वापस मैट्रिक्स में रखेंगे तो हमें कुछ इस तरह का फॉर्मेट प्राप्त होगा। और इससे जब ये हमें मैट्रिक्स फॉर्म में मिल जाएगा तो इस मैट्रिक्स को जब हम सॉल्व करेंगे तो हमें इससे एच एन एम और एल की वैल्यूज़ प्राप्त हो जाएंगी। और जब ये वैल्यूज़ प्राप्त हो जाएंगी तो इनको हम इसमें पुनः मैट्रिक्स में रख के, फर्स्ट वाली मैट्रिक्स में रख के, और हम आंसर्स निकाल लेंगे इस मेथड से। डेल्टा और डेल वी का आंसर हमें मिल जाएगा और इसे हम रख के लोड फ्लो एनालिसिस कर लेंगे और उसके अकॉर्डिंग हमें लोड फ्लो से जुड़े जो सॉल्यूशंस चाहिए थे वो मिल जाएंगे।
In the load flow studies, the equation which are made by using nodal analysis is nonlinear equation. This nonlinear equation is solved by using the iterative method like Newton-Raphson method and Gauss-Seidel method. The Newton-Raphson method is the method which are very sophisticated and important for the calculation of the complex power, load angle and the bus voltages at the respective bus. The advantages of Newton-Raphson method are as follows. It takes less computation time and the less number of iteration. It is more accurate and less sensitive to the factor like slack bus, transformer and regulation etc. The number of iteration is almost independent of the system size. It is applicable for large power system network. Now, the disadvantages of Newton-Raphson method are as the calculation involved in the iteration method is more. The per iteration time is very large. The large computer memory required and the programming of this is very difficult. Now, rest is explained by my friends.
Major part of the presentation has been delivered by my friends, and the topic which has been covered by them are what is load flow, objectives, types of buses, load flow techniques, Gauss and Gauss-Seidel method, Newton-Raphson method, its advantages and disadvantages. I am going to discuss about essential blocks for the load flow analysis. The first one is bus bar connector. So the bus bar connector is used for the interconnection of buses. In the electrical transmission system, a bus bar connector is a vertical line that connects components such as generator, loads and transformers. The second is three-phase source. We need to select the right three-phase voltage source for model to conduct a load flow analysis. The selection of source depends on whether we want to prioritize simulation, accuracy or performance. And the third is load flow bus. Load flow bus is required to specify the bus location and parameters to solve load flow. There are two kinds of load flow. The first is positive sequence load flow applied to three-phase system, and the second is unbalanced load flow applied to mix of three-phase, two-phase and single-phase system. Next, we require display. The display block shows the value of its input and also for observation of measurements. Next, we require three-phase VI measurement. Three-phase VI measurement is used to measure instantaneous three-phase voltages and currents in a circuit. And when connected with three-phase elements, it returns the three-phase to ground or phase-to-phase voltages and currents. Now, the next is three-phase RLC series block. Three-phase RLC series block implements three balanced branch consisting of each R, L and C, which are to be placed between each of buses as a line parameter. And the next one is three-phase RLC parallel block. This block is similar to three-phase RLC series, but this block is used as a load to the line. Now, the last one is power GUI. Power GUI block is necessary for simulation of any Simulink model containing power system blocks. It is used to store equivalent Simulink circuit that represent state equation of the model. GUI stands for graphical user interface that displays steady state value of measurement, current and voltages, as well as all state variables like capacitor voltage and inductor current. Power GUI allows to modify initial state in order to start the simulation from.
Hello everyone. So far the major part of explanation of our project has already been covered. I am here to tell you all about the simulation of load flow analysis. As we can see, given here is a power system, a 5-bus power system, the load flow analysis of which needs to be done with the help of Simulink software. This right here is bus number 1, which is the swing or the slack bus. Buses 2, 3 and 4 are the load buses, and bus number 5 is the generator bus. To construct the Simulink model of the given power system, we require a number of essential blocks, the description of which has already been given to you by my friend. So looking ahead into the Simulink model, this right here is the Simulink model. This is the bus number 1, that is our swing or the slack bus. Buses 2, 3 and 4 the load buses, and bus number 5 the generator bus. So now we move ahead and look into each one of them. Firstly, moving on to the swing bus or the slack bus. So as we all know that normally a generator bus is being taken as a swing bus, so that's what we did here. We took a three-phase source connected in series with a three-phase VI measurement unit. To the three-phase VI measurement unit, we have two displays connected, which shows us the voltage and current magnitudes as well as angles for that particular bus. And this right here is our load flow bus, or to what we term as the bus bar. So now we look ahead into the other buses. These as we all know are the load buses, buses 2, 3 and 4. Here at the end we have three-phase parallel RLC load connected, because these are the load buses. Rest all the connections are similar to what we saw in the swing bus. The three-phase parallel RLC load is connected in series with the three-phase VI measurement unit to which displays are connected, and here is the load flow bus. So now we look ahead into our final bus, that is our generator bus. So the generator bus is similar to the swing bus. The only difference comes when we feed into the parameters for each block of the buses. Talking about the parameters for each block, by double clicking on each block we can feed the value of parameters what we require or what is specified to us. If you look back into the previous slide, here we can see different line to line admittances are being connected between different buses. So these line to line admittances here are being shown with the help of three-phase series RLC branches. These are the line to line admittances as was shown in the power system model. With the help of play button present right on top, the green button, we can get the values of voltage and currents in the display. As soon as we click the play button, the values of voltage and currents, magnitudes and angles are being shown in the display. In order to compute our load flow, we'll have to use the most important part of our model, that is the power GUI block. The power GUI block contains of the load flow tool, by clicking on which we get the optimal load flow solution for the given power system. So this is it with the simulation of load flow analysis. Moving ahead, we'll look into the scope of the project. So basically there are two scopes of this project. Number one, it enables the user to calculate power flow problem. MATLAB is used to program the power flow solution, and graphical user interface is used to help a user and is easy to use. The graphical user interface mentioned here is the Power GUI tool that we used. Talking about the second scope of the project, it helps us to run simulation of power flow analysis using MATLAB for small, medium and large scale system. Because as we all know, most of the systems nowadays are designed for the Newton-Raphson method, which is applicable to most of the power systems, and practically it has no limitations. So with this I conclude the project. On behalf of my entire group, I would like to thank all the faculties and especially Mrs. Rovi Jain for her guidance and support towards the completion of this project. I would also like to thank you all for your patient listening.